guys, I wanted to talk about these things today. This is a lesson about inversions, and this is important for understanding your chords, your triads, or your slash chords for that matter. This all ties in with that triad and chord knowledge. So what we need to do is we need to go from what we already know to find something new. So let's look at a C major triad. We're going to look at a C major triad, okay? Now the thing we need to know is what notes are in a C major triad. There's notes that are in a C major triad going from the lowest sounding note is going to be a C, an E, and a G there. Look at that. So we've got a root, we have a third, and we have a fifth. This is called a root position triad, right? We've looked at triads before. These are really common. The first way that you encounter your chords, they start on a root note, they have a third, and then you have a fifth. This makes sense for people who play piano especially. And what happens is essentially the distance between the root and the third, we get a major third. We get a major third there, and in between the E and the G, what happens is we get a flat third, okay? So we get two different types of third happening. Now, I've explained this before, and if you've not seen that video on that, then what you want to do is watch this one up here. I'll put it in the video description, and I'll put it in at the end of this video as well. So if you want to watch that and just make sure that you completely know what you're talking about or understanding, then get those videos in your eyes and in your lugholes. Right, so what we need to understand that this isn't the only way to arrange these notes. What we can do is, instead of starting on this C, which is the root note, which gives the chord its name, what we can actually do is we can start on the third of the chord. Let me just move this over. And if I put that E there and I bring this fifth down here, right, so I've got the third, I've got the fifth here. But what I do is I still want my C, so I'm going to flip it. I'm going to put it up at the top there, and you can see I've got the third, the fifth, and the root. Still the same ingredients, nothing has changed, but what I've done is I've inverted that C there, so that's chucked it up there. Okay, now in doing so, what happens is I've gone and created a different interval here. This is an E to a G, this is a flat third, and then what happens is between here and the E and the C, we don't end up with a fifth anymore. It widens that interval up. I know it sounds crazy, but what it does is it widens that interval up, and what happens is we get a sixth instead. A sixth, guys. And it's a flat six, actually, for that matter. We get a minor six. So in every major chord, this is good for you to look out on your fretboard and in your triads, to look out for these sixths. This is why I teach sixths and thirds, because once you understand thirds and sixths, then you start to understand these inversions just a little bit better. And curiously, and I'll put it in there just for the sake of it really, what happens as well is we get a fourth as well. So this is why I think inversions are interesting, because root position chords, they're stable. They're a stable sound, but inversions, I think what happens is by adding these fourths and these sixths, it makes the chords richer. It adds richness. For me, they sound more lush. They're just a bit deeper and richer. Now, this was called a C chord. We just called it a C chord there. We're still calling this a C chord because it's got all the ingredients of a C chord. But what we do, this is how we get slash chords, essentially. Because we've got the C chord, but what we have to do is show that we've got a different note in the bass. And if we look at this, this is the lowest note. Yeah, this is the lowest note for the root position triad, but this is the lowest note for the first inversion. This is the first inversion. What we do is we put that up there. C/E. That's the origin of slash chord. So what you could do is you just think, okay, look, that's the chord. It's a C chord, but I have to put an E in the bass. And that's the easiest way of seeing it. And you'll find that most slash chords are going to be inversions. Now what we can do is we can do this again, and instead of starting on the root or the third, what we do is we go in the next note in order, which remember would have been the fifth. So we start on the G here, go G, and then what happens is I'm going to put my C here, and then I'm going to put my E up here. And what I've done is I've inverted that, I've flipped that up there now. I've chucked that note up there. We get a different structure happening again, C to E. Now the funny thing is this goes back to being a major third there. C to E is a major third. And then between that G and that C, remember what did we get before? We got a fourth there. But what happens is between the G and the E, we get another sixth. This time we get a major sixth. These are wonderful ways of understanding where these sounds come from. And if we wanted to spell this, we would look at it and think, hang on, these are the notes of a C major. They're higgledy-piggledy, but what we do is we take them and we reorganize them. We know that it's a C major chord, but it's got a C major with a G in the bass. Now, this is the first inversion because it's the first time we did it, and this is the second time we did it, so this is going to be called the second inversion. This is how we invert those triads. Now, we can do this with seventh chords as well, and we have a whole bunch of seventh chords that we can do this with. I'll draw a line here just so that we can split this idea. If we took a C major 7 chord, we can see that we get the C major triad, but then what we do is we just add the 7th on the top there. We can find that information by using the cycle of thirds, and let me just write that down here. C, E, G, B, D, F, A. So this is that cycle of thirds. I talk about it all the time as being a useful tool just to help you to understand what's going on. Cycle of thirds is there. And then what we do is we think, all right, well, look, this G, that means the second inversion. If you think about it, if we had that B sneaking in between there, look, there's the C there. If we had that an octave higher, that G and that C, there would be a B sneaking in there. So really, if we wanted to invert this, we would be starting on a B there. We would have a B. If you just invert that, look, I'm just going to chuck that down there. There's the triad. But then what I do is I put the triad there, and I chuck that whole triad up there now. And what I've done is I've put the B in the bass. So this is a C major 7. You could equally, if you wanted to call it a slash chord, you could call it C/B. Not a common way of calling it. Some piano stuff comes out like that. But the essential thing to know is this is what's called a third inversion. Yeah, and it just basically means you've got the C major chord, and instead of having the 7th in an upper voice, what we've done is you've put it in the low voice in the bass. And that's as simple as it is, guys. So you can do it with 7th chords, and it's not just major 7ths, it's dominant 7ths. You could do it with minor 7ths, you could do it with minor major 7ths, you could do it with all sorts of different chords. It's really useful to work this out on a piano, because I think a piano is probably the most logical way of seeing this, because it's all linear. It's a bit trickier to see on guitar. That's a C chord, your standard C chord grip. This is a C chord with the open E in the bass. This is a C chord with the G on the 3rd fret of the E string. You could think of it that way. The C major 7 chord, it might sound a bit theoretical and tricky, but really if you just think about it, it's a C major chord with the B in the bass. Okay, it's really as simple as that, guys. This is your cycle of thirds. You can use that to help you to figure this all out. And remember, guys, these gaps in between these, the intervals between the C, the E, that's a major third. E to G, that's a minor third. G to B is a major third. B to D is a minor third. D to F is a minor third. F to A is a major third. A to C is a minor third. This is a whole different bunch of thirds, guys. It's not just major thirds or minor thirds. So this was just a quick one because someone had asked me that question about inversions, and I just wanted to get this out of the way. If you're still stuck on where I got this from, and you might need to watch the original video I did on how we get triads. There's a link in the description below, and it's also popping up on your screen just about now.